Hi, this is Cora Strack again, Dr. Strack. I just want to wish all the teams in the All Ireland Championship and the football and the hurling champion the best of luck going forward. We had a fantastic match there with with Limerick just winning in the last stages of the last part of the quarterfinals or the semi-finals, and it was an excellent win for Limerick and their manager, and it was a brilliant battle between both teams, and then Mayo had a fantastic win today, and nobody would really begrudge Mayo winning their first All Ireland for a very long time, and then we have a mammoth match between the Kingdom and the Dubs tomorrow, so that'll be a very interesting match as well, and there are other matches in the World Cup that are heating up as well, and the Spanish versus the French match should be very interesting as well, and then we have the final to look forward to. But I always think the semi-finals are, you have that sort of anticipation element that you don't have with the finals. So I think the semi-finals are there's more excitement around those really than the final. But I mean, the final is great as well. But there's just that sort of sense of, well, you have the next match to look forward to if you win in the semi-final. So there's that anticipation element there. I think that gives the semi-final that extra sort of interest, or that extra buzz about the semi-final. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens between Dublin and great rivals, Dublin and Kerry, tomorrow. Years and years of rivalry between two great teams, and it'll be very interesting who prevails on the day. And then the winner of that match then plays Mayo in the All Ireland final. So that itself should be a fantastic match. And Mayo have reached many All Ireland finals in the last number of years. And will this be their first All Ireland? So that's the big question, I suppose, that everybody's talking about now. Will Mayo finally do it? And they were saying it had a curse, this and that, but they played very well today, and they showed real positive signs of being a team capable of winning an All Ireland. But Kerry and Dublin are seasoned players also, and neither Kerry or Dublin will want to lose tomorrow's match, and certainly any team that meets either of them in the All Ireland will have their work cut out for them. But that's the nature of the game, and as I always say, may the best team win. And in the same thing for the Wimbledon final tomorrow, the gentlemen's final as they're now calling it, and of course for the final of the World Cup. So I suppose the odds are in France at the moment, but Spain are a very very skilled team. They're extremely skilled, and some of the South American teams are also extremely skilled. So there's huge skill at that level. But Spain have showed exceptional skill all the way through, and so have France. So it'll be very interesting to see who will come out victorious in the World Cup, in spite of the controversies surrounding it. The last number of games have been fantastic. So well done to all involved. And again, sport is a game, and there's winning and losing there. But I'm suggesting that in law we need a different kind of game. We need a dispute resolution game, inverted commas. And I'm not saying it's a game. We need a problem solving dispute resolution system at the entry point of all disputes before they reach the adversarial game or litigation. So this is a huge arm of my research as well, which is not that widely published but I think it's extremely important, the whole issue of conflict and dispute resolution. And that, yes, so I had started off talking about arbitration, but then when I examined it more, it seems to be more like adjudication. So I just changed it to dispute problem solving, multidisciplinary problem solving, dispute resolution mandatory before court, and that's a mouthful. But that really is trying to change. Justice, and to try and rethink what justice should be. Should it be more about healing than punishing in the first instance, if possible, or repairing possible. And of course, like everything else, intervention has to be very early, like everything else. So when issues become very entrenched, it becomes very difficult to repair. So it's the idea of early intervention using state-funded dispute resolution models, and this is the idea I have for a new vision of what I call a healing justice. So this is another big idea I have, but it'll probably be a long time before that enters the political discussion. But we're having serious problems at the moment in Ireland with paying for criminal justice and solicitors and criminal legal aid, and would if you look at the huge swathes of people that were denied access to any legal aid because of their financial situation, and who are involved in disputes, very difficult disputes with no representation, surely it makes sense that there is some dispute resolution before court, and that this is mandatory before court and state funded. I mean, it makes absolute sense to me in current times where so many people can't afford legal representation. In any case, that court system was designed when solicitors were available for everybody, and that's not going to ever happen again. So I don't think that's going to happen again. So I think we need a new model of justice, and it's a very timely intervention to suggest that we need a dispute resolution, a multidisciplinary dispute resolution, because it's unfair really to expect any one person to solve everybody's a very complex problem. You need a number of disciplines, depending on the nature of the dispute, working together to try and see, can the dispute be resolved and the harm caused by the dispute be healed in the first instance. But of course, the earlier the intervention, the better. And this is what I'm arguing, that this is quite urgent, I'm saying, but it's a very difficult one to persuade any kind of government or policymakers when there are so many vested interests against this. But I think in the age of AI, we've got to have new thinking about the work that we're going to do. And this work is human-centered. It involves human beings sitting around with different disciplines. So it will at least provide work, perhaps, to people who may not have work if we continue along our current system without looking for changes. But it's not about that. It's about having a better system of dispute resolution and having it at the earliest possible point where intervention of the type I'm saying can offer a potential to heal the harm that's caused by the dispute before it becomes entrenched. And at that stage, once the legal profession are involved, or once the courts are involved, it's very hard to resolve a dispute in a way that brings healing to all sides.